Hey everyone, today I'm back with another spoiler-free book review for you, and I'm going to be talking about We Come Apart by Sarah Crossan and Brian Conaghan. I really hope I said their names right then. I've been hearing so much about this book, so when I went into the library last week I was really excited when I found it on their shelves. It's only just come out, it came out last month, but I think I might be one of the first people to actually take this book out of the library, if not the first, because it's stamped as the 17th of February in the back. And I believe I took this out on the 28th of February. So yeah, I think this is possibly the very first time it's been out of the library. But as I was saying, it's a library book, so it has got a clear protective cover over the front, so I'm really sorry if the lamp behind my camera puts a glare onto the cover and you can't see it. So I'll try and hold it a bit lower so that you can, but if you can't see it properly then I do apologise, it's not my fault. It's a library book. This book is about two teenagers called Jess and Niku, and they are both brought together when they are both caught shoplifting on separate occasions, and they end up doing a kind of young offenders community service type of thing, and that is where they meet. There are two main characters in this book. The first one is Jess, who hangs around with a not very nice group of people at school, and some of them are actually with her when she gets caught shoplifting and she ends up taking the fall for them. She's also having a lot of troubles at home as well, but I'm not going to go into that too much because I don't want to spoil the book for you. Then we have Niku, who has moved from Romania, and he is not going to school at the time when we first meet him in this book, but when he is caught shoplifting he's told that he has to go to school. His family are actually trying to save up money so that they can marry him off to a girl back in Romania that he has never met. I really love the character of Niku especially. I love Jess's character as well, but Niku is a personal favourite. I think one of the main reasons that I connected with Niku's characters so much was because of the way that his parts were actually written. Each chapter alternates between Jess and Niku telling the story, and because Niku is Romanian, as I mentioned, his parts are actually written in broken English, which shows how he's learning the language. I thought that it was going to be quite difficult to read those chapters, but actually it really wasn't, and I didn't realise quite how impactful they were going to be either. This book is also written in verses as well, which is really different. I love finding books that are written in slightly different formats, whether it's emails, text messages or letters, anything like that. I really like books that are written differently. And this one was a really quick read because it was set out in verses, but it kept its meaning really, really well. It wasn't one of those quick reads where it's just over and you don't actually take anything from it. I loved the plot of this book. I really liked how it had two separate characters telling their own story and that they gradually came together so that you got to see both sides to one part of a story. I also really liked how effective this book was in terms of the plot. There is one part that actually had me in tears. I'm not going to give anything away and tell you too much about it, but if you read this book or that you have read it, look out for the part with the cafeteria scene because it had me sobbing. If you watched my last book review, which was actually my first book review on my channel, I like to do a little part in it where I think about who I would cast in a film if the book was ever made into a movie. And I found it really easy to cast last time, but with this one I've actually found it really difficult. Niku is obviously Romanian and I wanted to keep true to the character in the book, but the only Romanian actor that I know is Sebastian Stan, and obviously he's not a teenager, so that's not going to work. And then even with Jess I found it really difficult as well. The first person that came to mind was Sophie Turner, who plays Sansa Stark in Game of Thrones, but she's not a teenager either, so I don't think that particularly works either, so I'm really stuck with this one. So if you have any ideas about who you would cast as Jess and Niku, then feel free to comment down below or message me on Twitter or whatever you'd like to do, because I found this really difficult to cast. Overall, I really liked this book. I loved that it was written in such a unique way. I really enjoyed reading that. I really liked the two main characters of Jess and Niku, and I would thoroughly recommend this book to anyone. I really hope that anyone that does read this book gets the same out of it as I did, because the message for me is so relevant right now, and I think that every teenager should read this. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. So that's all for this book review. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have read this book and want to share any of your thoughts with me, then please feel free to comment down below or contact me on any of my social media sites. I will leave all of the links in the description box below. If you haven't read it and you really want to read it, then I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching everyone, and I will see you again soon.